We're gonna have to exchange blows here on the sports show.
I mean, you did go
Talk
full
about-
hot on me. I believe it was Monday on the
I
Monday
wasn't
show.
hot about you. I was just hot about all these Florida State fans who are, maybe a little biased.
Are you mad that you lost a lot of followers on Twitter?
I don't give a shit about that.
Because you came out with a pretty mean.
It's not the first time I've
meme.
lost followers on Twitter. I don't care.
No.
No, I never understand why this time of year, every year, it never fails. There is a fan base that's going to bitch and moan and cry like they don't know this is how the rules work. And I hate to say it to every single Florida State fan, but they're lying to themselves. And I'll say this to you too, because I know that you are a Florida State fan by proxy. You are lying to yourself if you think that, like, the selection process, I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it is supposed to work this way. I'm not saying that Florida State got what they deserved. I mean, yeah, I am a professional Seminole hater being a born and raised Gators fan, but it's like, this happens every year.
True.
It happens every fucking year. And like, why are we shocked? Why are we just absolutely blindsided by this?
Because it's never
now we're
happened
gonna fucking
before.
sue the NCAA.
Because it's never happened though before. They've never left out a undefeated.
That is true.
Power 5 conference. I mean, you play in the Power 5. Now, it would be totally different if, let's say, USF and the AAC went undefeated and they're crying about it. I mean, it is what it is.
When
but
we
not
talk
in the
about
Power 5, though.
And this is based off of the information that we have been told directly from the committee, with the information we already have about the criteria to get in. And then not only do you look at them losing their quarterback, but then you look at how they finished those last 2 games. I mean, their offense was on fire against Louisville, right?
Well, no.
I mean, they really brought it to Florida, who has a really good defense this year.
Yeah, but
I don't.
Hold on, Florida.
Those wins didn't convince me anything.
But the Alabama win against Auburn convinced you? All season, Georgia. They were saying that Georgia was only number 1 because they won the back-to-back national champions. They'd lost number 1 during the season without them losing. Ohio State moved ahead.
Can you pull up Bama's schedule for me?
I just did. Or Auburn schedule. Sorry.
No, Bama's
Auburn,
schedule.
Yeah. Auburn, the 27-24.
I just want to see who Bama beat this year, because another thing to factor into this is the combined opponents record for Florida State, which is abysmal. I mean, the best team they beat this year was a 9-3 LSU.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, but you're talking
Alabama.
You just talked about the last 2 games.
And they barely beat a shitty Florida team.
Yeah, and Alabama barely beat a shitty Auburn team.
All right, well, Alabama has a win over
Middle Tennessee State,
American Conference powerhouse South Florida.
Yes, barely beat them.
17-3.
Yeah, barely.
Very tough game.
Was 10-3 technically before that last couple of minute touchdown.
15 Ole Miss, 17 Tennessee, 14 LSU. I mean, if we're going to hold LSU in such high
Texas
regard,
A&M, they blew them out 26-20. Shitty Texas A&M team. Shitty Arkansas team, 24-21. Blowout there. I mean, they blew out LSU just the same Florida State did. Blew out Kentucky, who was down. Chattanooga blowout. And almost a loss unless it took the miracle pass. By the way, don't you forget the Auburn game, right? That Auburn game. Who was the quarterback for Alabama?
It was Milroe.
Right? The superstar.
Yeah, superstar. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and defend Bama. That's not what I'm trying to do, because I don't even like Milroe that much.
Hold on. Just hear me out for a second. So you're saying you came through with Florida State, saying Florida State, they played, they didn't blow out Louisville with their offense. They didn't blow out. Now, these are with the backup and the third string quarterback. Now, the backup would have been in if they would have made, or they, when they make the bowl game or whatever. But you're saying, well, they didn't blow out Louisville, who was in the top 15 at the time. Okay, Louisville was a good team and still is a good team in the top 25. So, but they took care of that because their defense is so good. And Florida, a rivalry game. Now, if you want to look at rivalry games, Alabama and Auburn took it down to the last 5 seconds for a miracle catch to beat a Auburn Tiger team. Now they're 6-6 that got blown out by New Mexico State the week before, 31-10. How is that a Alabama kicked their ass with their every starter on Alabama played against Auburn, 27-24. Now, not every starter did not play against Florida, and Florida State won. And then they beat a top 15 team in the conference. Yes, Alabama
and then they beat
Georgia,
the number 1 school in the country,
which has lost, and people have said Georgia's not as good as they were.
Georgia hasn't lost in almost 3 years. They won 29 straight games. What more do you want from them?
But you have even said it on this show before that Georgia was not as good as they have said.
Especially after losing Bowers.
Yes.
That really sucks for them.
So they played a lot of close games, and like I said, they lost their number 1 ranking in the middle of the year, being undefeated. The college football they put, or the AP, whoever it was at the time, put Ohio State at number 1 for a couple weeks.
Listen, I've said it before and I will say it again. I don't think the committee is right all the time. I think every year there's always a team that, was deserving to be in and got left out and all of that stuff, yada, yada, yada. I'm not saying it is great for the sport. I think it's awful. I think Jordan Travis put up a post that said he wishes he broke his leg earlier in the season so FSU had a chance to prove to more critics that they were a better team, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, but
we have gotten to the point. We have gotten to the point where players are wishing they broke their legs earlier in the season because of how the selection process shakes out. I do think FSU got hosed. I think if you do what is asked of you, regardless of your schedule, if you win all of your games, you win your conference championship, especially if it's a Power 5, then you should have a fair opportunity to play for a national championship. That's the way that it should work. But they're not one of the best 4 teams in the country.
Neil Mounts Brazier, $9.99 super chat. Go Pack, go.
And honestly, this whole argument is going to be put to rest based off of how they play against Georgia. If Georgia stomps a fucking mud hole in them, then me and everyone else saying the same thing that I have since the beginning of the week will be right.
Well, but the whole thing is that Georgia hasn't stomped a mud hole really in anybody this year, when, like, especially early on.
Even if they do, I feel like then we're going to get the excuses of, it's a bowl game.
So what are you going to do if they don't?
If they don't and Florida State plays them close?
Or Florida State wins?
If Florida State wins, then I'll eat crow and say that maybe, if Florida State wins, it's going to be because of their defense. They're not going to go fucking
Well, that was the whole point. The reason they beat Florida, the reason they beat Louisville was because of their defense.
If we're going to talk if, ands, and buts.
Biggie 7375, $25 super chat. F the Packers.
We don't have like a negative go Pack go.
I was just thinking about that. Blow, Pack, blow. 717 JOR 999 super chat. Go Dolphins. Thank you, everyone. I mean, I should hit the horn. I mean, we're getting
there you go, man. Woo!
There. Thank you, everybody. That sounded weird. Let's just take a call. You're getting worked up here. 941. You got to calm down, right?
I'm going to get more worked up. It's Grant.
Hey, what's up, Grant, the FSU fan?
Oh, dude. I'm still going through the fucking grieving stages right now.
Yeah, listen, as Red would say, he's a Florida State hater, and that the Florida State was
so here's the thing. I see what Rhett is saying in theory. He's correct. But, bro, that game against Georgia is going to be a fucking scrimmage. Dude, Jared Verse isn't fucking playing. Braden Fisk isn't playing. We're going to have fucking, like, walk-ons playing that game, and so is fucking Georgia. So you can't count that game with a fuck.
No, you can't, and that's what technically Red said too. But
Brock Bowers isn't going to play. That Marvin Mims Jr. guy for Georgia isn't going to play. It's literally going to be, backups and walk-ons versus one another. Like, Coleman's not going to play. Johnny Wilson's not going to play. We clearly don't have Travis. Verse isn't going to play. Like, we're going to be a shell of ourselves, and so is Georgia. So that will not be like a true comparison and fair to, decide, Florida State was wrong or right. If we're going to be intellectually honest.
You're right, and it's a shame that it can't be.
Yeah, well, you know what? They could have had it and they made the playoffs. But the best meme that I saw, it's kind of like Greg said, no team could ever overcome subpar quarterback play and win a national championship, quoted by
Greg McElroy, 6'11" for 52 yards.
Yeah, and TDs, and they beat Texas 37-21.
Yeah, respectfully to Red, those are the fucking gingers jumping together, all right?
Exactly.
Hey, I didn't fucking...
I know, he looks like an older version of Red. So,
okay. Probably a little more money, but who says Red's not going to have to
And listen, who knows that that Georgia, if they would have made the playoffs, who knows if DeFeely would have actually kept running the Wildcat and they could have figured it out.
Well, you don't know. Not to mention, dude, Rodemaker would have been back. They would have had 3 weeks for him to prep. I mean, listen, I get the argument. I'm coming to terms with it. Theoretically, Alabama and Texas probably are more well equipped right now, but that's why you play the game. Otherwise, what's the fucking point? That's why you play. You don't know that. You don't know Jared Verse doesn't come out there and strip sack the first fucking play. I mean, you could play this what if game all you want. I think it's all fair to say it's completely biased. And they've been fucking lobbying for this from the get go, and now they're just using Travis as an excuse. They would have fucked us even if we did have Travis.
Oh yeah, they would have found a way. Because obviously, look, he's a Heisman finalist, so he wasn't that good.
It's not really fair either, because Florida State's trying to get out of the ACC. So they're already fucking pissed. And the chairman is the fucking athletic director at North Carolina State, who's one of the people who are more mad at FSU because they're trying to get out of this shit. So
that's another. That's another conspiracy theory, is that they're mad that because Florida State said we're better than the ACC, we want out.
Yeah, so whatever. I mean, I think it's kind of a travesty and, a little bit of a joke. I mean, I why are we not talking about Alabama's 4th and 31? This isn't even a conversation. I just hate how that talking point isn't brought up once.
Well,
4th and 31 against ass bucket Auburn.
Yeah, well, that's what I brought it up, and it just wasn't a big deal. I mean, Auburn.
And again, I guess the USF game doesn't fucking matter, and Texas need a miracle against Houston. I mean, Florida State was never in that horrible of a predicament except one game against Boston College, which they won outright way earlier in the fucking year. So dude, these guys, they can't have an intellectually honest conversation. They can't be truthful. They talk out of both sides of their mouth. They're worse than fucking politicians.
Listen, and I'm disappointed in Rhett because, as Brian pointed out a while ago, Rhett cheers for any team Florida. So you think that Rhett would have wanted a Florida team in the playoffs, so he would have had someone to cheer for?
No, I mean, realistically, the answer to all of this would have been, anything other than a 4-fucking-team playoff for the longest time. I don't know why they refuse to.
Florida State's best end coming back just jumped in the transfer portal because he asked for $1 million and they said, go fuck yourself. So now he's going to fucking take his fucking ball and he's going to run it over to Colorado or he's going to run it up to Oregon, rumor has it.
Yeah.
He asked for $1 million. He asked for Jared Verse money, Patrick Payton from Miami Northwestern, and he literally just jumped in the portal because they said, we're not going to give you $1 million.
Well, they should just take the DeSantis money that he put aside and take that $1 million and give it to him instead of saying.
Yeah, I'll be fucking, I'm curious how that's going to work out. He's just fucking. Well, because Marco Rubio's a fucking Gator, so I think he's trying to, get the FSU guys on his side.
Yeah, why not? Might as well, right?
But yeah, it is pretty bad. I hope it doesn't fuck up recruiting. I mean, next year will be a 12-team playoff, and Florida State just proved their point of why they need to be out of the ACC because they've essentially delegated us to a fucking glorified, Mountain West Conference team.
Listen, we got plenty of room over here at the AAC. Okay, drop another C, grab an A, and come on over to the AAC.
I got one more question, and then I'll jump off the horn here. But do you think they would have ever pulled this shit and done this to Dabo Swinney? No fucking way.
No, they didn't do that back in the day with Clemson.
They would have never. If Clemson was undefeated right now and they were playing with their backup quarterback, they would have never done that because Dabo's got the coaching pedigree to win national championships, so they would have given him the benefit of the doubt. But how can you fucking not give Mike Norvell the opportunity to win a national championship? Like, where was Herb Street in 2014? Saying fucking Ohio State doesn't deserve to get in with their 4th string. It should have been Baylor then. Right?
I also do listen.
True.
I don't like giving Florida State credit, but I also think it was a crock of shit that not a lot of people were talking about Norvell for Coach of the Year. Like, he didn't even finish top 4, top 5 voting.
Yeah, exactly,
I don't think.
Yeah. No, he didn't. I think it was like 6
Whatever.
or 7.
I'm surprised they gave him ACC Coach of the Year. I was shocked by that.
Who are they going to give
and
it
I'm
to?
also, And, they gave fucking Jordan Travis a consolation prize, so whatever.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys run. Good show, man. Appreciate
right,
you.
Man.
Thanks, man.
See ya.
We have one more call. I think this is your favorite fan.
Favorite fan.
239.
Lummy, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Man, I don't understand why FSU is so upset. I know you guys are talking about this, and I just don't get it. Their strength of schedule was by far the worst out of the top 4 teams. Michigan was a little bit lower than them, and now they're going to, use state resources to do the bowl championship series?
Yeah, because you could sue $1 million, how much money that they lost out on, too, for not making the championship.
Lost out on how much, but how much, if you look at it from ESPN, ABC, and their sports rights and overpaying everything, FSU doesn't move the needle. They're on their 3rd-string quarterback. And
yeah, but it's the money you get for making the bowl and then also the merchandise sales, the recruiting aspect of it. I know you went to Brown, and I think Brown has enough problems right now, and that whole Ivy League.
The apex of our football season was we beat Cornell by a touchdown.
There you go. See,
whatever.
So listen, just stick to tennis and basketball.
I just think FSU fans are just being a bunch of crybabies.
They're going to sue. They're going to sue. They got the governor of Florida to set aside $1 million.
Listen,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Haiti right now, there's some kids in Haiti right now with FSU BCS championship T-shirts that really need them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, buddy. All right, 10-star. What else do you want to talk about? We're not talking about tennis. I mean,
no, it's the off season in tennis. They're getting ready for the Australian winter and the Australian Open in January. We could talk about that great football game we witnessed on Sunday.
Oh yeah, he came to the Bucks game, Rhett.
Yeah, it was a great time.
And guess what?
Wasn't it?
An obnoxiously blue Carolina Panther jersey. Now, Rhett, what jersey player do you think he was wearing?
Oh,
From all the
man.
great players that are in the Carolina Panthers currently, do you think he's wearing any of those?
No.
Who do you think it was then?
See, I feel like it should be obvious, but I almost feel like
It's obvious.
Is it a Cam Newton jersey?
No. It's a second probably one you think of.
The second one.
He's not on the team anymore. Obviously, he's on the 49ers.
Oh, Christian McCaffrey.
Yes,
That's
I did wear
unfortunate.
McCaffrey, and they were wearing the color rush blue jerseys, and
Now-
so I rocked it.
I will say Carolina updated their blue. I don't know if you noticed that, Lummy, but their blue from previous seasons is different. They officially changed their team colors. And those new blue jerseys, I will say, they look really sharp. I like when they wear the black pants, the blue jersey, and the black helmet. That is probably the best look that they have now.
yeah. Well, the one
See,
Hinstar
there we
had
go. And I was rocking that.
yeah, it was bright and obnoxious.
There weren't a lot of Panthers fans there. I know the rain kind of scared most people away, but when I was looking at, some of the big wide shots of the stadium, it looked like mostly red jerseys for the first time all season.
There wasn't a lot of Panther fans there, but when it started raining, I didn't flake out. I stayed there in the rain and took it.
That's how you do it.
See, Rhett, and the thing is that what are they really playing for? They're not playing for a number one pick.
No, but believe it or not,
No.
before last week, they were still mathematically had a chance to make the playoffs. Like they still had a chance to win the NFC South.
Yeah.
So they could have played upset to the Bucks because the Bucks would not have won shit if they lost to Carolina last week.
What does Carolina have for this? When's their first pick this year after going absolutely dog shit?
We have it next year, but we have a bunch of. It looks like I think we have 2 second rounds this year.
Oh, nice! Wow, 2 second rounders. That's going to get you guys to the playoffs.
Oh, we're doomed. We have an owner that's basically replacing Dan Snyder as someone that just thinks he can throw money at problems and it fixes it. And we're doomed, and it's going to be a tough. It's already been a tough 6 seasons, and it's going to be about 4 or 5 before we even get competitive. And I don't know how we do it. I don't know what coach will want to come coach in Carolina, knowing that actually it's free money. You can go sign an $80 million contract, get fired after a half a season, and you can sit on it until you find your next job. It's actually not a bad gig.
I think this is definitely how you're going to probably improve it. It's going to be the Panthers 2024 picks is the second rounder, their own. That's a good pick. One third rounder, their own third rounder, their own fourth rounder, San Francisco's fifth rounder, which is going to be shit, Tennessee's fifth rounder, which would be decent, and Arizona's sixth rounder. And at that point, who gives a fuck? Brian from Philly, $20 TTP. Thank you.
TT motherfucking P. We had a rough day yesterday, but we're back on it.
But yeah, that's going to get you. That's 36. So they'll probably all make the roster too.
My question on the Bucks is, what's their free agency situation and what's their cap space like? Because I see what Evans does, and I feel like you got to keep him.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
So I think ultimately what they're going to do with Mike Evans is they're going to let him test the market, kind of like they did with Levante David, Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean these last few years. They let these guys go out and see what other teams think they're worth. I don't think Mike Evans is going to get the money that he was asking for at the beginning of the year, only because early on he did struggle with drops. And he's played well this season, but I do not think he has played well enough to garner a $26, $27, $28 million contract.
No, he has not.
But
the
cap is going up. The Bucks do not have to deal with any more dead money from Tom Brady. Ryan Jensen is off of the books, so they restructured with him during the season. He will not be on the team next year.
Yeah, I think that was what, $5 million?
I think it saved more than 10.
Okay.
But he accounted for nearly 40% of the payroll this year. Between him and Russell Gage, who I think may also be off of the books.
Didn't they were working on reworking his deal, I believe.
I think maybe a restructure. I know he had one more year after this year left. The Bucks signed him to a 3-year. So I'm not sure what the fate of Russell Gage is going to be, but they're going to have all in all about $75-80 million in cap. So the top free agent priority is going to be, you could probably interchange these guys, but number 1, Mike Evans, number 2, Antoine Winfield Jr.
And do you guys keep Baker for one more year and see how it goes, or
my gut
build
says
around him? Not build, but
my gut says no. If they somehow retain Todd Bowles, then I think there's a decent chance. But if they retain Todd Bowles and they still have a top 15 pick, I think it would be malpractice to not take a serious look at a quarterback there. So I think the most likely scenario is that they do end up missing the playoffs. The Bucks move on from Todd Bowles. And the new head coach comes in and has a pick of a top 10 draft pick. I think if Bowles is out of Tampa, then Baker is definitely out of Tampa. If Bowles is back in Tampa, I still think it's kind of an uphill battle for Baker, unless he absolutely plays his ass off and the Bucs make the playoffs these last 5 games.
I could see a little different where if either whether Todd Bowles is still the coach, either way, he's fired or and a new guy comes in. I think they'll probably let Baker kind of look at the market, but always kind of keep him in that back pocket, let him see what the market is. Then, like you said, draft, especially if we fire Todd Bowles, draft a QB. And I have a feeling that they're going to go back and look at like a veteran that's out there. And if there's they did this year, and then probably even try to make an offer to Baker, like a cheap offer to Baker since he kind of knows the system.
Yeah.
Because I don't see a new coach coming in and fire an offensive coordinator.
I do.
Why would you fire? Like, I find the NFL, like the football's been extremely mediocre this year. Why would you fire Bowles? I just don't think it makes any sense to fire Bowles. The football hasn't been great this year. Tampa, like the Panthers, other teams that might let go of their coaches. I just don't feel like the football's been that great. And I don't know if it's really the head coach.
Hey, coach has a lot to do with it.
Coaching has a lot to do with why the Bucs are bad this year. Player execution has been brought into question for sure. But it's really, really hard to defend the middle stretch of the season he had. The Bucs started 3-1, kind of got everybody's hopes up, came out of the bye week, and had a bunch of games against teams that were just better than them, and they got absolutely manhandled in all of those games. They did not look competitive against Detroit. They were not competitive against Philly.
A lot of it goes on the play calling, in my opinion, too.
Play calling, too, player execution. Todd Bowles isn't out there missing tackles and getting injured and things like that, but there were a lot of games that we looked at and said the Bucs should win this game, and they didn't. Like the Indy game, like the Houston game, and it could have been the Carolina game. Like, I don't feel great about that win. I'm glad that they win. I'm never going to root for them to lose, and I would still like them to make the playoffs. Like, I'm not going to be one of those fucking people who wants them to lose and get a better draft pick, because I do not care. Well, the Bucs are not a winning organization, so the more playoff appearances you have, the better.
And my whole thing is with the whole draft pick thing is you never know how they'll turn out. Okay, yeah, you got a top 5 pick. Okay, well, let's look at the last couple top 5 picks. You know what I mean? I mean, you can look at Bryce Young with the Panthers. I know it's his rookie year, but he's not the savior, and it may take him a couple years, and he may not be able to figure it out. Jamarcus Russell, just to name 2. So it's still a coin flip on what you do in the draft. So why not try to win when you have the opportunity? Have it look somewhat promising. So if we try to sign some free agent. So it doesn't look like we're just, tanking to get a better draft pick for the veterans out there.
I do think ultimately, though, the better thing for the Bucs this year in the long term of the team is going to be to miss the playoffs, fire Bowles, did he hang up? Take the pick, set themselves up better for the future, because I think if you take the big swing while you have it, this is a really good quarterback class, and the Bucs are in a position to potentially have a top 10 pick in a year where there's a really good quarterback class. And yes, they have won with free agents before, but I like Baker. I think there's other teams that are going to be ready to pay Baker.
And even as a backup, too.
But even after this year, man, I don't feel confident that he is going to be the guy to take us to the next level. He has had a couple of chances this year to step up and make the plays. I think of the last 2 possessions against Atlanta, where it was 13-13. All the Bucs had to do in those 2 possessions in the last 6 minutes of the game was go down the field and score. Well, the first possession, they went all the way down the field, and he threw a red zone interception. Should not have gotten the ball back because there were 3 minutes left in the game, but Atlanta was a bad team, so the Bucs got the ball back. They held onto the ball for 38 seconds, went 3 and out. And Atlanta kicks the field goal, wins the game.
I'm still confused on Atlanta on why they
went back to Ritter.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Because
I don't know.
Against the Jets, 12 of 27, 121 yards, 1 TD, quarterback rating of 38.5. Against the Saints, they won both games, which is just so disgusting. But against the Saints, quarterback rating 34.7. 13 of 21, 168, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, and still beat the Saints. But I don't think that was on. I don't think that was on him. I think that was on the running back that they have. Was Taylor Heinicke playing that bad? I'm happy for it. I'd rather the Bucs play the Falcons with Ritter than Heineke.
Heineke's literally has a history of being a buck killer. Beat him in the regular season as a Washington starter, and then almost beat them in the playoffs. Well, that was like his first career start, or at least first career postseason start for Washington.
Yeah, I don't see what he did. So, because I'm looking.
So that last game he played was November 12th against Arizona. He went 8 for 15, 55 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Did he get injured? Did they just say fuck it and make a change? Because I remember when the news came out, the headline was Atlanta names Ritter the starter, and that's it.
Maybe it's Falcons go back to Ritter.
Maybe it's because of the long-term implications of Ritter. You know, they
came off their bye week and named him the starter.
I saw the article mention that they want to see what they have in their future, and that's understandable. From that point of view, you are the Falcons. You're another team who is a quarterback away from having a decent enough roster to really compete, especially for the NFC South.
But Heineke's not that old.
He's 31.
He's 30. Okay, yeah,
30.
He's 30. Yeah. Yeah, still. Right now, look, they won 2 with Ritter, so obviously, I don't think it has anything to do with Ritter, but, obviously he managed the last game barely to beat the Jets.
I just don't think he's good.
I don't think he is either.
I think he's ass. He wasn't good against the Bucks. It's
fumbles.
a shame. It's a shame that they could not win that game. That's one of those games that, again, to kind of put a bow on it, we talk about Todd Bowles and his future with the Bucks. That's one of those games that I look at. Bucks should have won that fucking game. They were at home. It was tied 13-13. All you really had to do was sit on it and kick a field goal. You couldn't even do that.
No. Well, I can't wait to play him again. Hopefully
on the road.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's Atlanta. Hopefully they get their ass kicked the next couple games before we go down and play with it. And speaking of that, might as well do our picks real quick. See how we did?
Yeah, we should. But Lummy, I don't know where they are.
They might be behind you on top of the bar.
Okay, because I see piles and piles of notes over here. Your trapper keeper all disassembled. Let me see here. Yep.
You got it?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I hope this is last week. Seattle at Dallas. Yeah, that was a Thursday night game.
Let's see this pull it up. I know all these people that depend on our picks. Besides Brian from Philly.
I'm gonna be honest with you. There were a couple of games I was watching the highlights for before Sunday Night Football, and I was thinking to myself, "Goddamn." So let's get into these picks.
Yeah, Dallas at Seattle. Dallas won.
Yeah, we did both. We did both pick the Cowpokes.
There we go. So I want to know Colts, Titans. Colts win. Pull it out. Gardner Minshew throws the TD and OT 31-28.
We picked the Titans.
All right, we lost that one.
Yeah.
Sweet. We're looking good. Chargers at Patriots. This was a real barn burner. I don't know if you watched this game, but 6-0.
Yeah, real
Chargers
blowout.
win. Herbert really let me down. I believe we picked the Chargers.
We did.
Nice, thank God. Lions at Saints, a little closer than I thought. Lions won 33-28.
Yeah, late game surge. I was enjoying the whooping that Detroit brought early, but I'm glad that they were able to finish that game and win it. So we did both pick the Lions, man.
Thank God the Lions Saints fall behind us. Falcons Jets, another high scoring, really good game, 13-8. Falcons win with Ritter just doing enough to pull out an ugly 13-8 win. We probably both picked the Falcons.
We did, yeah.
All right, look at this. We are on fire. Hopefully you guys bet with us. Cardinals at Steelers. Cardinals win 24-10. James Conner scored twice against his old team. We both picked the Cardinals.
Lummy's upset pick of the week. Arizona on the road over Pittsburgh. I picked the Steelers to win this game. That's what I get. Joke's on me. So
upset pick.
Your pick of the week.
Let's go.
Comes in big time for you, yeah.
Dolphins at Commander, just a no-brainer. Tyreek Hill just looks like an absolute superstar. I mean, Tua got lucky a couple times. Hill, 2 TDs, 45-15. Obviously, I know I picked the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. I also did.
The shit Broncos against the Texans.
What? Whoa. Whoa.
Fuck the Broncos.
Whoa.
Get off the fucking ride.
Where the fuck is this coming from?
They lost.
So you were just done?
Yeah, I pulled them up to 6-6. My believing that they would beat the Chiefs, and you know what? They let me down against the Texans, and they hurt my my wide receiver that I was running in my fantasy. What was the little
Sutton?
wide receiver's name?
Wasn't Cortland Sutton?
No, the Texans.
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell. They hurt Tank
The rookie.
Dell. Yeah, they hurt him, and they still couldn't beat the Texans. C.J. Stroud, 274, 22-17. Fuck off, Broncos. I know I picked the Broncos.
You did. That was your team. I picked Houston. C.J. Stroud to come out on top.
Buccaneers at Panthers. Obviously.
What about yes? Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
We won that game.
Yeah, for the first time
21-18.
in fucking forever, we both picked the Bucs, and we are both correct.
And I believe Mike Evans got his 1,000 yards.
Hell yes, he
on
did.
a nice 75-yard TD. That was a really. I know he didn't get it then. I think he got it the
like
two
a
plays
drive
later.
after.
Yeah,
But 162 yards on the day for Big Mike. Two touchdowns? No, just one.
just one.
But
7
pay
for
the man.
162. Yeah, pay him.
pay him.
Don't pay him too much, but pay him. Browns at Rams, 19 or 36 for the Rams, 19 for the Browns. Stafford throws to 3 TDs. Rams win their third straight. I went Rams, right?
You in Cleveland.
Oh, what the fuck?
Sorry, this next pick will make up for it.
Who'd you take?
I took the Rams.
All right, 49ers, Eagles. I know in chat there's a lot of people that were definitely hating on us going against Philly, especially Brian from Philly and a couple others. Eagles lose to the 49ers, 42-19. Brock Purdy throws 4 TDs. Looks like an absolute superstar. We picked 2. Did we both pick them?
I picked the Birds.
Oh.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you were just. I was the only one getting the shade.
I've been picking Philly a lot this year, but they were due.
Yeah, I mean, 10
They were due, and good on Brock Purdy for proving to a lot of the people talking shit that he can be that guy.
Yeah, 314, 4 TDs. McCaffrey gets his TD and 93 yards, looking like a superstar that he is. Chiefs at Packers.
Who saw this coming?
I don't think anybody did.
Nope, we both picked Kansas City. All I could think about when watching that game was hearing Bubba the next morning be like, "Who the fuck is this team?"
Yeah, I know, exactly. It's exactly.
And then obviously we start talking about the path to the postseason and how the Packers are still in the hunt. And
I'm surprised he hasn't.
Didn't he say
Packers?
Did he not say that they have the easiest path
Yes, they
to
do.
win the NFC North?
Yes.
Aren't they two games back from Detroit?
I believe so.
I think
but
Detroit's 8-4.
but they hold the. Well, currently they hold. Let me look at the standings here.
Oh, they hold the tiebreaker because they beat him week 1.
Yeah, man, if they could have just beat the Broncos. They can't beat the Broncos.
Oh, it was the Bears they beat week 1, not the Lions.
Let's see, they beat the Lions in the Thanksgiving game.
Oh, they did. They kicked the hell out of the Lions.
9-3 for the Lions and 6-6 for the Green Bay Packers. Tied with the Minnesota Vikings at 6-6, which I know we went over it with Bubba, but the Giants against Tampa, at the Panthers, Vikings, and Bears. I mean, that is a pretty easy schedule, especially playing the Bucs in Lambeau. Not that I don't think it matters at this point playing the Bucs down here, but
yeah, I don't necessarily disagree when Bubba says that, but it's just funny because when I hear him say it, I know it's as a very optimistic fan. He's so back and forth on Jordan Love. One week he's the ass bucket.
Jordan Love looked good though. He looked good.
He looks great.
Game, yeah.
He looks great. He's looking more comfortable. The Packers, I think, can start feeling better about his potential future as a long-term guy. They were showing all the stats that him and Aaron Rodgers had exactly the same through their first year starting. I think they're like the first 8 games they had the exact same amount of passing yards, touchdowns.
Yeah, and their offensive line played a lot better. Actually, it's funny. I think the 2 guys that Bubba took a big shit on earlier in the year was Christian Watson and Jordan Love. And I think Watson, what's his name? Is it Christian Watson? Is it Watson?
Christian Watson.
Okay, yeah. He had a good game.
He did. Tampa guy.
Is he?
He is, playing high school.
Oh, okay. Oh, went to North Dakota. And then the last game, Bengals at the Jaguars. I did not see this one. I believe I picked the Jaguars. 2, 3, 4.
Yes, you did. We both picked Jacksonville. Oh, what the fuck, man. I also took the under on Browning passing yards because his line was set at like
260, right? 250?
It was set on like 218.
Oh, is that
and
low?
then they bumped it to 220 by the end of the day. So I took it 220, less than 220. and then he throws almost 400 yards.
Yeah, 354.
I don't know what system.
Coming?
I don't know what system the Bengals have for their backup quarterbacks, but it is definitely working.
It is
good for him. You know, he definitely balled out.
Did they? Has anything come up with what's happening with Trevor Lawrence?
They said he's week to week. I think it's a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, high ankle sprain. Yep.
Yeah, week to week. So I mean, he's a tough guy. He's gonna want to play through it. I don't know. Who does Jacksonville have this week?
Well, hold on. I was looking at their backup. CJ Beathard.
Beathard. Yeah, and he
I like his name better. Beathard.
He tried to. He fucking sucks, to be honest.
Oh, he's an Iowa quarterback. How can you go against Iowa?
Yeah, he's awful.
He doesn't know how to throw fucking TDs in Iowa.
His first play of the game when he came in, because I was watching the end of that game the other night, he comes in and he takes it himself, tries to runs directly into like 3 linebackers, and then gets up and is holding his wrist. So he's already hurt.
They don't have a third-string quarterback on their depth chart currently.
Calvin Ridley's going to be back there playing QB.
I mean, he might be better than CJ Beathard.
Christian Kirk is now going to be out as well. He left the game, I think, in the first quarter.
Yeah, I know. He fucked me up, too. They play Cleveland at Cleveland next week. Sunday.
That's what we get for betting on Christian Kirk in the first place.
Exactly.
Cleveland. I think there's a good chance they lose that game.
I mean, do you think Lawrence is going to play?
No.
Oh, no.
No. Don't hurt yourself. Because they do not have a division game. Do they not have a division game until Tennessee?
It's all wrong. Yeah, until Tennessee. They play Baltimore, Tampa Bay, Carolina.
So they don't give a shit. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt them to take the L to legendary Joe Flacco and the pretty decent Cleveland Browns this year.
Yeah, I think I can see them giving Trevor Lawrence this week off.
How about our boy
the Panthers?
How about our boy Joe Flacco? Huh?
Yeah, I know.
He balled the fuck out this week, dude.
Was he 38?
Yeah, 38 years old. And
I mean, the Ravens gave up on him.
He was slinging the rock, dude.
The Jets gave up on him. Who else was he on? Where the fuck is the?
I think he was in. Was he ever in Denver or Washington?
Well, yeah, I think he was in Denver
for like 2 minutes.
Oh man, I choked the fucking. Oh, it's still sitting there in my throat. Oh fuck. 254, 2 TDs, an interception. Look at that. What a superstar.
An interception in his first game back in what, a season and a half, 2 seasons. I mean,
you can't fault him for that.
Get the fuck out there, Joe.
What?
Go get it, big guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, hold on. Stats.
If anybody can lead the Browns to the promised land of the postseason once again, I would love for it to be Joe Flacco.
Me too.
Just to stick a big old dirty finger up
the
Jets,
Ravens,
to the Ravens
Broncos,
as well.
And the Jets.
I mean, Stavros.
Yeah.
The video that Little Perp sent us.
Yes.
Of Ronnie the Ravens fan.
Yeah. It was cute.
Seeing Joe Flacco.
The Ravens.
Fucking Browns jersey.
You don't really. The Ravens are kind of just kind of under the radar too. I feel.
They always are.
Look, 9-3, sitting there, just ready to lose in the.
They are
week 1 of the playoffs, like always.
They definitely are the least talked about 9-3 team. I do not see. I really don't see a lot of discourse about the Ravens, like from daily viewing of ESPN and just the shit that I do watch. I don't see a lot of people talking about Baltimore. There must be not a lot going on.
I mean, they got somewhat of a tough schedule. I mean, the Rams are obviously they won 3 in a row. Matt Stafford looks like a superstar. They play at the Jaguars, and that all depends on Trevor Lawrence. They fly out to San Fran. That's going to be a tough game. That's going to show where they're at. And then they play at home against the Dolphins. Let's see where they're at. And then finish the season with the Steelers, which I don't know if the Steelers know what the fuck they're doing with quarterbacks. Mitch Trubisky was back there, wasn't he?
The Steelers are proving to me that they can't even make like personnel decisions. Like they have that one rookie. I can't remember his fucking name.
Who for? You talking about the
Pittsburgh.
quarterbacks?
No, for Pittsburgh. No.
I was going to say Kenny Pickett, but I mean, I still don't understand how the Steelers are 7-5. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I mean, their schedule, they could beat the Patriots, they could beat the Colts, They could beat the Bengals. They'll probably lose at the Seahawks and probably lose at the Ravens. I mean, they could go 3-2 and put them at 10-7. That's pretty insane, especially for a team that you kind of just thought was just done. I mean, I thought they were going to be fucking ass buckets this year.
Yeah. I think a good defense has taken them far this year. You know, TJ Watt, second in the NFL in sacks. I think he has 14 on the season.
Yeah, he is an absolute superstar. Man, I just wish that like we could get lucky with like a pick like that in the next year or two with this defense we have.
Yeah, it's a shame because the Bucs are going to look different next year. They're going to look different on defense for sure. I think more different on defense than offense.
What happened to your mic?
Yeah, what happened? What was that?
I don't know.
Did I cut out? Did you turn me off?
No,
Hello?
I didn't touch it. You're back
I
now.
didn't touch anything.
Come
either.
on, Macho. He's making a great call here.
It's Macho.
Macho's setting us up for failure.
Yeah, he's trying to sabotage the show. The Bucs got to get an edge rusher. That's what's been holding this defensive line back forever. We know that Vita Vea is a monster. Kalijah Kancey seemingly growing into a monster. He looks great. Yaya Diaby looks good. He's playing well ahead of schedule now that he has jumped Joe Tryon-Shoyinka on the depth chart in his rookie season. That's a good sign. That's good progress. I mean, it's not a great sign for JTS, who the Bucs are not going to pick up his fifth-year option.
No.
But they need an edge rusher. Shaq Barrett has not been the guy that they signed him to be. As good of a guy as he is, as much as we love him, you know, he's great for the city, he's great for the team, blah, 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 blah.
Wasn't it this year his daughter died?
Yeah, it was over the offseason.
Oh, yeah, that could affect you a little bit.
He had a torn Achilles last season, and, yeah, just an unspeakable tragedy over the offseason. So I'm not going to sit here and really say that, you know, God, we hate him, let's run him out of town. But regardless, he had to be better this year, and he wasn't.
So,
what are you thinking?
Well, I was going to ask you, at this point in the season, who do you think is going to be the number one seed in both?
In both?
In both conferences.
I think it'll be Philly in the NFC.
Yeah.
And let me get a look at the AFC.
I mean,
I don't know if it'll.
It's a no-brainer here. It's the quarterback-less Miami Dolphins.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, look, Tua could break his arm tomorrow, and the Dolphins' offense wouldn't miss a beat because all they'd have to do is just throw it up and let Tua catch it.
I think whenever Kansas City sputters, everyone likes to overreact. But I don't foresee.
You think Kansas City's going to come back and be tough?
Yes.
They're going to come back and beat the Bills this week?
Yep. Come back and beat the Bills. Like, that's going to be fucking tough to do.
Listen, you're down on the Bills right now.
I am, yeah. Even though they are favored. What the hell? People are down on Kansas City more than they are the Bills, which is actually incredible to me. I am
It's a 3-point spread.
Very, very, very surprised. I mean, Kansas City favored 3 points at home is wild enough to begin with against a 6-6 Bills team, but the fact that the matchup predictor has 54.5% of people thinking that Buffalo's going to win this game, Buffalo hasn't proven anything to me this year. They've proven to me that more often than not they get in their own way.
I think it's because the last game they played,
Josh Allen's just not playing well.
Yeah, I know, but
he's just not, and it's okay. It's okay to be a good player and have a bad year. It's happening to a lot of players around the league.
But they lost a lot of games close. That's another thing.
Sure.
I mean, they went to overtime against the Eagles.
Tough game.
Who was before that? Shit. I fucking clicked. The Jets. Well, I mean, fuck the Jets. Lost to the Denver Broncos 24-22 when I started that streak. The Broncos were listening.
Yeah, that that legendary streak of 3 weeks.
Yeah. And I believed in them going all the way. Then you have the Bengals, which that's when Joe Burrow was there. They lost 24-18. And they beat the Lonely Bucks 24-18. So I mean, they
almost lost to the Bucks on a last-minute Hail Mary.
Yes, yeah.
You know, if the Bucks offense was better at that time of the season, they could have potentially lost to the Bucks.
This was their downfall right here.
Again,
Jacksonville in England.
Yeah, that was when they really started playing like shit.
Yeah, because 14-9 against the Giants, then losing to the Patriots. Barely beating the Bucks.
Yeah, because they were whooping everybody's ass. I mean, they beat Vegas 38-10, Washington 37-3, Miami 48-20, And then you run into that roadblock with Jacksonville, the team who had already been there in London for a week at that time. And then obviously you beat New York 14-9, but that's the New York Giants, and you beat them 14-9. The Giants haven't done anything this year.
No, Danny Dimes is out.
I don't know if they had Danny Dimes in that game or not.
Was he already out that game?
That was what, week 6, week 7?
That would be week 6. Yeah.
I think he may have still been in.
Tyrod Taylor was in. Yeah, 24 for 36, 200
So they
yards.
almost lost to Tyrod Taylor.
That's true. I mean,
Tyrod Taylor better than Danny Dimes, but
the Giants have not done anything either. I'm looking at.
I just cannot buy into the Bills this year. You know, these last few years, it looked like it was their year, but when you're fucking 6-6,
well, they could still technically pull it up and make the playoffs.
They could.
I'm trying to see.
AFC's pretty tough this year.
Yeah, see, so I mean, who you taking for your number one?
Leave it right.
I was going to standings.
Okay, there you go. There's the AFC.
Dolphins 9-3, Ravens 9-3, Jaguars 8-4.
It's gonna be Kansas City.
Really?
Yeah. It's all. It just feels inevitable. Like I don't know. I think people always, again, like I said, overreact to when Kansas City stutters. You know, whenever they have that bad stretch, they lost their last 2 out of 3, but they lost to a really good Eagles team, and they did lose to the Packers, which not a lot of people saw coming. But you know, the excuse they're gonna have, is, oh, it's a December game in Lambeau.
Yeah, I mean, but still, I mean, they're playing in Kansas City. It gets cold in Kansas City. They lost, you know, at home to the Eagles. They lost in Detroit. Denver. They played Detroit this year. Yeah, they did. Oh, they did. Yeah, I got that right. They did lose to.
That was week 1.
Yeah,
that was their only. Is that their only home loss on the year? Yeah.
Yeah. No. Eagles
beat them on the road too.
So I can see where you think they're going to make a comeback, but I also see where the Bills, coming off a bye week, traveling to Kansas City, got their shit together.
Are the Bills going to look formidable against Miami?
No. I mean, as long as...
No, they're going to get their shit kicked in?
Yeah, I mean, well, as long as Tyreek doesn't pull a hammy, and then you got to rely on Tua to do something, then they'll be fine.
And that's why I can't buy into it. Like, if you agree that they're going to get their shit kicked in by the Dolphins, and they're not even going to compete...
I'm not picking the Bills to win the conference.
No, but I'm just saying in that game, if the Bills look like shit, then they're not a playoff team.
Well, listen, they got a hard fucking schedule.
They do, which is why they're not going to make it.
At the Chiefs, against the Cowboys. I mean, the Chargers really shit the bed last week. Then the Patriots, and then at the Dolphins to finish the year. By that time, I feel like the Dolphins are just going to rest Tua in the last week.
Depending on what Buffalo's playing for, if they're, you know, one game out of a 7 seed by January 7th, then Miami's probably going to play a little bit tougher.
Oh, well, we'll see. I mean, hopefully, as long as Tyreek plays and Waddle and all the rest of the players play, the Dolphins won't have a problem. That's my opinion. And everyone that
as long as the players play.
Well, except for Tua. I know everyone thinks I just hate on Tua because I'm just a Tua hater.
But you are.
I am. You're correct, but I have my reasons for it, and I've proven my reasons, and my reasons have been right. And luckily we don't have Brian here to try to be a complete jackass to prove me wrong, but I am right. If you watch a full Dolphins game, please tell me that Tua has the best arm in the NFL. Do you think he does? I'm
not even going to chime in. I want to finish this show and not get you mad. So I'm going to plead the fifth on this.
Yes, he went to Alabama, I believe, too.
I've agreed with you in the past, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. You and I were teaming up against Brian last year, Mr. Stats.
That's true, because then Brian came at you and really talked shit about you.
He started talking about, like, expected yards.
Yeah.
Like yards over expected average per game.
And some shit.
And it's like, dude, what are we doing? Because he, plays beyond his fantasy projection. We're going to say that He's got the best arm in the NFL.
Yeah, they were not predicting him to do as well. And then, Tyreek puts on his burners.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is he's going to be over 2,000. I mean, that's what he's projected to be.
I hope he gets it. I do hope he gets it. It would be nice to see. It is the 17 games thing, so it'd be even cooler to see it get it in 16 games, because if not, people are always going to give him shit about it. But he's a really talented guy.
To project it,
he's
2,098 yards is projected, 17 TDs.
Yeah, he's far and away the best receiver in the league this year. So
he said he would have stayed with the Chiefs. He's I've seen two things with him.
I thought he wanted to get paid. I thought that was like.
Well, he said he wanted to stay with the Chiefs, but they didn't offer him enough money. And then I also saw that he wanted to get out of the shadow of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Get out
because
of the shadow.
Well, he wasn't like the number one guy. Now look at you go to the Dolphins. I mean, it's Tyreek show over there. I mean, would you not? You think? I mean, would you say the Dolphins right now do anything without Tyreek?
No, look at that wide receiver room that they have. You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and then you've got Chase Claypool, Robbie Chosen, formerly known as Robbie Anderson.
Yeah,
who I'll be honest, he's a head case and he's kind of a loser. But he had a pretty decent season in Carolina.
Yeah, he did, and then all of a sudden he became a head case.
Yeah, had 1,000 yards.
Shit the bed in Arizona.
1,000 yards, 3 touchdowns. His longest score of the year was 75 yards. And the only reason he had 3 touchdowns is because DJ Moore was balling out that year. But he still managed to get 1,000 yards. So he kind of fell off. He's not really a team-first guy, which sucks.
Games played in Arizona last year, 10 games played, 7 receptions, 76 yards.
Man.
Miami this year, 5 games played, 3 receptions, and I believe those are all 3. This whole stat line right here.
He's got a touchdown.
Yeah, that was when the Dolphins beat the Broncos by like 70.
Yeah,
that's when that's
when he played.
That's his whole stat line right there is from when he played the Broncos.
Yeah,
I mean, which looks pretty good. But yeah, a lot of washed up players. I mean, I want to see this guy River Craft to get in.
Hey, someone mentioned it on the live chat, but I was going to ask you: did you watch the Manning cast on Monday?
I watched a little bit of it.
Did you see your boy on there playing guitar?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, okay.
You think he was good?
I think he's one of the best guitar players there is. How about that? He should actually retire from football and go play the guitar.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's how it is. I mean, were you blown away by his guitar play?
I was. His musical prowess.
Dr. Dan plays a better guitar than that guy. Okay.
Dan Halen.
I've seen Dan play the guitar lately. Most recently. And
I keep thinking of that solo.
But you just wait. He's gonna bust out another solo here soon. So just stay tuned to that one, buddy. You're gonna be blown away.
God, I don't want to counter program, but could you please play that?
What?
The Dan Halen solo. It's on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, let me find it. And I'm gonna pull up. Get your paper ready for this.
If you just type in, we're doing picks after this.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. What is it? Week 14?
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, we'll get to. We should do. You know what? We should do our picks with the eruption solo in the background.
Perfect.
Yeah. It really set the mood for us. Wait, shit! I need a pen.
Dan Halen, here it is.
Where's your pens?
I don't know. They're there. I'm not gonna throw you one of Bubba's. I don't even like touching them.
Somebody stole all your pens, Lummy.
Yeah, probably you.
Why would I steal
Sticky finger Rhett.
Yeah.
Little ginger coming through. And you know what, Cooper Lips? I started the streak with the Broncos, okay? That was my first upset pick. They won when I predicted them to win, okay? So I didn't break the streak. I made the streak. And Rhett will tell you that too. Russell Wilson should fly down here and do something to me, okay?
Oh, good God.
Do something for me. Here we go.
Yeah. It's time for our Week 14 NFL picks.
Oh, what?
Oh, why'd you do that?
I didn't mean it. What happened?
Didn't want to be played.
Without further ado, Dan.
How's he not coughing?
Here we go. Okay, for this week, Dan Halen. You can check it up on our YouTube. Oh.
Nothing gets me into some football like
Dan Halen.
Dan Halen.
With the guitar. With a cigarette in his guitar. All right. Thursday night matchup. Wow, this is going to be a real fucking shit show. I may not even tune in for this one. New England at Pittsburgh.
Ooh. I'm going to go with a better defense here and say Pittsburgh.
I'm going to go with just fucking the opposite of you. I'm going New England.
Did you say it was New England at Pittsburgh?
New England at Pittsburgh. You're sticking with the Pittsburgh Steelers, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, fuck it. In my screen, all I have is Dan's nipple and his arm. All right, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Obviously, I always go Tampa Bay.
Yeah, let's go Bucks.
Go Bucks, go.
It worked last week. Hopefully it'll work this week.
We
go
need
Bucks.
this game. We need this game, or
yeah,
Tampa Bay is fucked.
This is the season for the Bucks.
And yeah, so Xerxes, New England has a better defense, but what is that? I think that.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Detroit at Chicago.
Stop with the nonsense.
Well, it's going to be cold.
Be for real.
It's going to be cold.
Be for real.
They're both pretty similar. Detroit at Chicago. It's going to be cold there. Detroit plays inside. Chicago's outside. Who do you got?
Give me the Lions, man.
Yeah. I believe in Dan Campbell.
Hell yeah.
This is so bad in the background.
It's really throwing me off.
It is. Indianapolis at Cincinnati.
It's a terrible idea.
And we got a minute 20 left, too.
This is a tough game to pick just because of Browning, having a much better game than I anticipated. He's a backup. Is he going to be able to keep it up? Is the question. Indianapolis.
I thought you were talking about Dan's guitar player. Can he keep it up?
Can he keep it up? Indianapolis has got a tough secondary. Tough for them, easy to throw on for other teams. So I do think if Browning had success throwing the ball last week, he could have success again. So I will take Cincinnati.
I'm going Gardner Minshew.
You riding the wave?
I'm riding the wave. Gardner Minshew to Michael Pittman Jr.
Riding the mustache wave.
Jesus. Just because you wanted it. Jacksonville at Cleveland. And everyone should go check out this video and give it a thumbs up.
Every time it pops into my head, I stop what I'm doing and I go watch it. I wish I was fucking lying to you. But it's like a song. It's like an earworm. It just gets stuck in your head. And then you don't feel better until you hear it.
No, I do not feel better about that.
So there he is. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Dan. Let's get through our picks now after that. Jacksonville at Cleveland. We don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to play. We do know Joe Flacco looks like a superstar now. I'm going to go Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Cleveland. My gut says Lawrence doesn't play, and even if he does, he's going to be hurt. It's an ankle injury. It's going to be tough. He'll be shot full of adrenaline and everything else he needs to get through the game, but he's not going to be quite as mobile in the pocket. Cleveland's got a decent defense.
Yes, they do. They have a very good defense. I don't think Antonetti gets it done, or however you say his name.
Antonetti.
Etemami. Travis Antonati, the Jaguars running back.
Yeah, the Gator.
ETN.
Yeah.
I used to think that was, never mind. I'm not going to get into that. Carolina at New Orleans. Woo! Carolina coming off a real tough loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. New Orleans coming off a really tough loss last week. I'm going to go New Orleans.
Yes, I am also going to go New Orleans. The Panthers showed us a lot of things in that loss last week, and all of them were bad. They are a bad football team. They were the title of NFL's worst team this year, so I think New Orleans gets a division win to make it
interesting. Thank God the Bucs are playing at 1 o'clock because these are some real fucking shit games.
Well, I hate 4 o'clock games too. I hated that they played at 4 last week.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about like just trying to watch some of these games. These are fucking dog shit. Detroit at Chicago, Indianapolis at the Bengals, Jacksonville, Cleveland, hurt quarterback Central, Carolina at New Orleans. Fuck that. Houston at New York, Jets.
I think this is a trap game for Houston. They're feeling high after that win last year. I'm not ready to pick the Jets, so I'm gonna pick Houston to win, but I am cautious about this game.
That was going to be your big upset pick.
No, hell no.
So you're taking Houston?
I picked the Jets last week and they let me down.
Yeah,
so I'm picking Houston. Yeah.
Houston for me. Los Angeles Rams. Matt Stafford at the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore is favored. It is in Baltimore. What are you thinking, Rhett?
I'm thinking Baltimore.
Upset special for Lummy.
Wow.
Los Angeles rolls into Baltimore, and Baltimore a loss. Matt Stafford throws for 3 TDs, and the Rams win 4 in a row. Go Rams.
I like it.
Minnesota at Las Vegas. Is Josh Dobbs starting for the Minnesota Vikings? Or do
I
they
have no
switch outs?
idea. I hope he is.
Because I don't think he played that bad. I mean, they did lose to the Bears 12-10, and they're talking about benching him, but I don't blame Dobbs.
I think they were being incredibly.
I mean, he did throw 4 interceptions. I missed that part of the stat line. Yeah, Dobbs sucks now. I don't know who their backup is. I'm going to say...
I think the Raiders are going to play better for that interim coach. They like that guy.
Yeah, the former linebacker, I believe. Yeah, for the Giants, right?
Yes, he won a Super Bowl with the Giants.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders. The Raiders.
I will also go Raiders. I think they're just going to be in a better place.
There you go. That starts the 4:00 games.
Yeah.
I will not be watching that game. Seattle at San Francisco. San Francisco beat the living shit out of Philadelphia last week. Seattle, they came together.
They brought it to Dallas.
They did.
They made that game much more competitive than I thought.
Geno Smith looked good.
41-35. I think they could do the same thing to San Francisco. It's always interesting when these two teams play.
But it's in San Fran. What do you got?
I got San Fran winning.
I'm going to go opposite. I know this is going to hurt my record, but I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go Seattle. Let's say.
So that means you don't mean it.
I mean it.
Okay.
I really think Geno comes on. I think San Francisco rides high. Close game, but Seattle beats it out here. Buffalo at Kansas City. I know where you're picking on this one. I mean, you were already sucking off the Chiefs, you know.
All right, so are you also picking Kansas City to win?
Who's their head coach for Kansas City?
Andy Reid.
Yeah, you had Andy Reid's dick in your mouth the whole time they talked about Kansas City. So I'm going Buffalo and Josh Allen. Buffalo goes into Kansas City and goes 7-6 and keeps Kansas City down. Or Buffalo plays them close. Either way, I'm going to take Buffalo in the points too, so I'll at least get 3 points.
There you go.
Denver at Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, come on, Lummy.
Herbert fucking looked horrible. Herbert has not played up to his potential all year. The Chargers have not played up to their potential.
No, and it's a shame because Khalil Mack has 15 sacks now.
I think pretty much if they lose to the Broncos, they could fire their head coach.
He looks like Babyface.
He does look like Babyface, which is why I hope he gets fired.
He's got the big head, the skinny neck.
And the big teeth. Kind of like Babyface. And he seems like a real pussy. Who are you going with?
I'm going to ride with Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Man, that makes me not want to pick Denver now that you jumped on that bandwagon. And Grouper Lips fucking just talking complete dog shit. It looks like Denver...
Because you just denounced the streak and the team.
...is the underdog. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think they win at home. I think they go 6-7 and put Denver to 6-7. So hopefully you don't, ride Denver ride or ride Broncos ride and go off the fucking cliff in L.A. Philly at Dallas.
It's going to be a good game.
This is going to be a good game. And by the way, that 4:00 game, I think the Seattle, San Fran, and Buffalo, Kansas City will be good games there. A lot better than the shit bags at 1:00. Philly at Dallas. Woo! Man, Dallas has been playing really well.
Winners of 4 in a row.
They lost to the Eagles early, 5 weeks ago, 28-23 in Philly. Do they split the series, Rhett? What do you think?
It is really tough to sweep a team in the NFL. It is really tough to sweep a team when they are the 1 seed in the NFC. But this game is in Dallas. It's Sunday Night Football.
Let's go, Lee Corso. You putting your Dallas Cowboy hat on, or you putting your fucking...
I already wrote down Philly, so I'm just going to go with Philly. I wrote down Philly about 5 minutes ago, and then I thought about it and thought about it again. I think this is... I hate to say it, but I'm waiting on Dak to shit the bed. He's been playing really well, and I feel like as a professional Dallas hater, that's going to come to an end one of these weeks. It's really tough to sweep. So I think Philly is going to keep this game close for better or for worse.
You're trying to tuck yourself out of that Philly.
I really am, but I ultimately think they win.
Thank you, John Viola. I'm lame for picking the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going with my upset pick on that one. So guess what? My upset pick, and Brian from Philly, $5 is go Eagles. And then my upset picks, I believe, in 4-1, Rhett. So good luck,
4-1.
Baltimore. I'm going Dallas. I wish I had a Cowboy hat on right now because I'd put it on. Woohoo! Go Dallas. Put Philly down to 2. What are they be 10-3? They've already clinched the playoffs at least. They're fucking around.
No, they would have clinched last week.
Oh, really?
No, they're 1 win away from clinching.
Well, guess what? They have to wait another week. Sorry, Brian from Philly, but it's kind of like our prize picks. They're going to lose. Denver, Tennessee, 2 Monday Nighters. All right.
Yeah.
On ESPN and ABC. Okay. All right.
At the same time. Normally when they do Monday night games, they stagger them.
That's what I was confused by for a second.
Nope, you got to fucking pick one.
Tennessee at Miami. Miami.
Yeah.
Not even going to fucking flip through anything. Miami wins. Unfortunately, they win with Tua. Green Bay at New York Giants. Well, Giants suck, and Green Bay will ride their hot streak in. Jordan Love's going to look like fucking a superstar that he is at this point. Just ask Bubba. Green Bay wins. Big.
I agree.
There we go. That's our picks. You might want to jump on it. And another thing you might want to jump on is the new tactical bags that you can get at Bubba Army's shop, Bubba Army's store, or BubbaArmyMerch.com. It's the great. Hey, I'm on camera. Yep, here we go.
Yeah, that's the new one. The new all black.
The new one that's all black that you can get for any Bubba Army. It's a great present. Bubba showed it off. I have one. Rhett has one.
I got the old one.
We use it. We love it.
Yeah, I use the hell out of it. I do love it.
Get it before they go because they're going to go quick, just like the backpacks. So, Rhett, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lummy.
Everybody, thank you for listening to the Lummy Sports Show with Rhett. We'll be back here next Wednesday. Probably do some bowl picks, things like that, leading up for the college playoffs. Thank you, everyone. We will see you tomorrow morning right here on Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble at the Bubba Army channel. Have a great rest of your day. And like I said, we'll see you tomorrow. See ya.